The number of people in North Carolina who favor legalizing marijuana is growing. That's according to a new Elon University poll. Justin Streckel is political director for NORML, a pro-marijuana lobbying foundation. He says people are looking at how pot is used and taxed in other states.
Americans are able to see the experiments from Colorado and Washington from 2014, now up to 15 different states, representing over 25% of the American population, lives in a jurisdiction where marijuana is legal for possession by adults. And the sky hasn't fallen.
Elon's poll suggests 73% of North Carolinians favor legalizing marijuana for medicinal use. Support for legal recreational use is also growing. In 2017, 51% of those surveyed opposed legal recreational pot. This time, only 34% are opposed.
The reality that American adults enjoy consuming marijuana, period, full stop.
Streckel believes legalizing marijuana creates jobs.
These are tax-paying positions where an individual has some kind of security.
The pro-pot lobbyist says governments can impose measures to ensure the drugs are safe.
Through its legalization, our state and local governments could impose regulatory controls that would best prevent the concerns that we have about cannabis in general.
Streckel says legalizing marijuana also provides consumer protections.
Legalization would acknowledge that this marketplace is already thriving in the shadows and bringing it out into a transparent, regulated system to make sure that those who are working in the cannabis industry are doing the same thing that every other working American is doing, paying their taxes, and that consumers of marijuana can have similar protections just like every other consumer in the American economy, have legal recourses should there be harm inflicted by consumption of the product.
Streckel believes there's currently a racial element in drug enforcement, saying Black people are more likely to be arrested for pot possession.
And it's unfortunate that right now we continue to see this criminalization stand, and it's being carried out in an explicitly racially disparate way.
A report from the American Civil Liberties Union finds African Americans are about 3 times more likely to be arrested for marijuana possession than whites.
The time to end marijuana criminalization is now. The time to regulate the substance to ensure product safety and consumer safety and public safety is now. And hopefully we'll see policymakers in the state of North Carolina do just that in the near future.
I think a lot of us just have a different perspective based on what we've dealt with in our professional careers.
Carteret County Sheriff Asa Buck has a different take. He's against marijuana legalization.
So, I mean, there's just so many different facets to it. And I am a firm believer that marijuana is a gateway drug. Not every person who uses marijuana is going to become a user of hard drugs. However, I've been doing this for 23 years. And I can't say that this person, this man or woman doesn't exist. But I don't think I've ever met one person that uses heroin or methamphetamine that started out as a heroin or methamphetamine user.
Sheriff Buck says North Carolina leaders have been working to decriminalize drugs like pot. He and his county are focused on recovery.
Well, marijuana has been decriminalized, quote unquote, in North Carolina for many years. The possession of marijuana up to a certain amount is a misdemeanor offense.
Buck also says most misdemeanor cases are dismissed for good behavior. If it's someone's only offense, their record can be erased. And the sheriff argues even if substances are legal and regulated, people will still abuse them.
People still use alcohol in a manner that causes people to get intoxicated, to make bad decisions.
Buck's experience with Carteret County's opioid epidemic tells him a lot about the business of drugs.
There's somebody behind this looking to make a dollar, and they don't care about the social disorder that it's going to cause. They don't care about the wake of human debris that it's going to cause.
What the sheriff knows about his community's views contradict this poll.
And I'd feel pretty confident in saying, and I think the overwhelming majority would agree with me, that they don't want their children using marijuana.
Buck says leaders need to be careful regulating substances, especially with addictions being a big problem in the state.
I think our society needs to send a message to people that using drugs is not a good thing to do.
In Greenville, Victoria Holmes, 9 on your side.